AI will kill developers. Cool story, but let's talk about what's really happening. AI right now is on the wave of hype, but we know that waves of hype happen. The previous one was about blockchain. This one is obviously different because we, you and I, we see the difference. And this difference looks huge. But over the course of my career, over the last 17 years, I saw at least one wave changing my life too. And it was Stack Overflow introduction. Hi, my name is Pasha. I work as a developer advocate for Bellsoft, and I've been writing code for at least the last 17 years. And of course, as many of us, I have a strong opinion on AI. The question I get a lot on conferences and meetups and other things is, Pasha, aren't you afraid? Won't AI replace us all? And my answer is no. There are several things I want to talk about. Code assistance, data generation, documentation creation, DevOps, economics. And of course, we should address the main elephant in the room, the one fearful. Vibe coding. Let's start from vibe coding, because again, this is the most fearful one. There are a lot of ideas about vibe coding. Smart robots can replace junior developers. You can write the whole project with vibe coding. It will replace us eventually. Well, it's all just not truth. Let's start from junior developers. What's the main goal of a junior developer's existence? Well, not as a person, as a developer, I mean. The main goal is to become a staff, principal engineer, whatever, or become a manager, or just to realize that they don't want to be a developer, which is also fine. This is not something robots can achieve for you. Your junior robot won't become staff robot anytime soon. AWS understands it, and they never stop hiring junior developers, because today they might not need junior developers, they generate a lot of code, at least this is what they say, but tomorrow they need new senior and staff and principal engineers, L5, L6, L7, and it's impossible to become one without actual experience in production. You have to experience failures, you have to make mistakes to learn from it, and this is something what robots are just not capable of. Now, let's talk about creating full projects from scratch, because it is another huge promise, isn't it? Well, I tried many vibe coding tools. The idea looks interesting to me. I am kind of lazy. I would prefer everything to be generated for me. But the thing is, I'm a good developer. I have a reasonably large experience, and every time when I see a large generated project, I see huge faults in it. For example, it will be very over-engineered. I will have interfaces where I don't need them. I will have crazy complicated domain structure. It will be so hard to refactor. It's hard to refactor not only for me, it's hard to refactor even for the vibe coding tool. Yes, where vibe coding is very good is when you need a static HTML page. For example, if you have a small cafe and you want to have nice menu for it or nice site for it with your phone number and your email and menu and so on, you want to vibe code it because it's essentially 1, 2, 3, 5 HTML files, and it will be reasonably beautiful. But this is not a real project. I mean, this is not what we usually create as developers. This is where actually world doesn't need us, and this is good that the world has these vibe coding tools for these smaller projects, because we can focus on something more important, on something more complex, and actually handling complexity is one of the main skills of an engineer. Now, when I cover the hottest topic, let's switch to calmer ones. AI code assistance, for example. A lot of us use AI code assistance without even knowing it. How so? The thing is, JetBrains IDEs use AI in prediction of your code auto-completion, For years, when you have this small pop-up with items to autocomplete, it is prioritized with help of a small AI built into the IDE. There are other tools too: full line completion, AI assistant, Junie. Honestly, I just turn off the full line completion of IDEA because it rarely guesses what I need to type, and I'm trying to trust it, and then I have to delete a lot of stuff. AI Assistant is actually amazing. AI Assistant can help me with small parts of my algorithm. For example, if I don't know how to write a bubble sort, I swear you, I don't write bubble sort, but it will actually help me because there is a lot of information out there on writing such things. Junie is an agentic AI built into the IDE, and Junie helps me when I need to create a whole project. But it has its downsides. Where I use Junie is to generate things I don't want to think about. For example, if I create a web application, I will ask Junie to create configuration and controllers and so on. But I won't allow it to write services for me, because services are the most critical part of my system. It's very simple to correct a controller, but business logics is something I really care about. A particular way it's written, a particular corner cases, and so on. And I swear to you, AI doesn't know about my corner cases or corner cases of my business. And after that, I will have to test everything I wrote. And obviously I can try to create tests with AI too, but honestly, I don't like the result either. It is very good in creating the test structure, but the tests themselves are usually not full. And when I'm trying to write my project in TDD style, when I first write tests and then AI writes code for me, usually it's good, but sometimes it just isn't. Sometimes it will specialize the code for a new test case. It will check the stack trace of the call, and if the function is being called from a particular test, it will return the exact output I require it to return in my test, which is definitely not something I want to do. And of course, guidelines kinda help, but they never fully help. They will never solve, at least for now, they are not there. It's not like AI will stop and say, hey, sorry, I can't do it in your guidelines. It will work around somehow, and it is definitely not what I want even from a junior developer. Having said that, I want to say that there are at least several very useful tools. Today I want to talk about Tessel and Context 7 in particular, but there are many others. Both of them are MCP servers. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and I will cover it a little bit later, but the idea is they allow your AI to not hallucinate about API of libraries, and it allows your AI to know versions of libraries you are using. So if you use version of library 1.0, it won't give you documentation for 2.0 or 0.7, which is very important because at least your code will compile. And if you use not strongly typed language like Python or JavaScript, it won't fail in runtime, which is very cool. But speaking of MCPs, MCPs are amazing. I should connect all of them to my AI because it will become so smart, right? It will know all my libraries, it will know how to use my Git and so on. Hey, don't get me wrong, I myself wrote an MCP server for Git usage because I think a lot of people don't know how to use Git properly, and I was like, let's do it. But there is an issue with MCP. Every time you add one additional tool, one additional MCP server to your context becomes bigger, and it means that models becomes dumber. If you are using 20 libraries and you will put all the information about these libraries into your context, your model will be dumb as my table, because it won't be able to answer any reasonable questions. And this is an issue We can turn on one or two MCP servers, but we can't add all of them to our application if we want to have correct and useful and interesting answers from our model. And I'm not only talking about local models like Qwen, but I'm speaking about big ones, Heroku, Sonnet, ChatGPT 5, and so on. You can clearly see that in vibe coding or agentic scenarios, when you attach many MCP tools to your tool, answers become less useful. And you still burn a lot of tokens. And tokens are money nowadays. We should also always remember that AI is only as good as its training material. And its training material is average by definition. It can't be all top-notch learning material, otherwise it won't be enough, because there is just enough very good code to learn on, to train on. And you actually want your code to be top-notch, if it's possible, at least to the best of your ability. And there are no Sonar Source or other tools to check code quality built into AI, because they are all general purpose. Even the ones which are not general purpose, they still don't have these tools to understand, hey, this code is good. At best, they will see that this code does what it's required to do, and probably not even there. Probably even this is not true. Now, several things I have to mention. First, DevOps. AI is sometimes very good in generating GitHub actions, and I heard, even though I didn't try, that it is good in creating TeamCity pipelines. And I can totally believe it, because they're very standardized. Everything we have available there is essentially a best practice, because there are not so many ways to achieve something. Probably not all the versions of plugins are newest or something like that, but it will work, and this is usually what we care about in DevOps, at least on the first stages. Second, there are frameworks for AI development. For example, Simon Martinelli developed something called Unified AI Process, which will give you predictable results in your development. It defines some guidelines, guardrails for your code, and so on. But in a way, it is bound to Simon Martinelli's preferred stack. It's Juke, Vaadin, Spring, and so on. I love these technologies. Vaadin is amazing, Juke is beautiful, Spring I use all the time. But what if you have another choice? What if you make another choice? Will your tests be good enough? Will the whole thing be good enough? And I'm ready to bet money. Simon tightly controls what the code is being generated. And as soon as it is not good enough, Simon changes something. And this is the pinnacle of the whole thing. We need experts who really understand the code, who really know how to write the code. And AI can't replace them, because again, AI is average. We need something much better than average. And this is why it won't replace junior developers, and of course it won't replace senior, staff, principal, and so on developers. It also means that we as developers are not going anywhere anytime soon. It's just our skills shift a little bit, from just writing code to also reviewing and understanding it. This is essentially a skill of working with legacy code, and one more new skill, prompting. Because suddenly we have to prompt, because AI is already essential in our workflows. But again, we are not going anywhere. Recently in my Twitter I asked, would you hire a developer without AI usage skills? And the answer was yes, if they're willing to learn. Again, AI is essential, but it gives us huge productivity boost. It doesn't mean it will replace us. No, it won't, but it should help us. And if we decline to take this help, then we are in trouble. We should use all the resources at our disposal. We should use Stack Overflow. Well, by the way, Stack Overflow is essentially that already. But now we should use AI instead of it. So let's quickly summarize it. AI really rewards knowledge about architecture, skill of code reading, and skill of thinking. It punishes blind trust. This is what we shouldn't do. This is what I had for you today. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave the comment, argue with me, because probably I'm wrong. At this point, Pasha out.